Hey there, everyone. I'm your host, Kyle Walden. Welcome to another episode of High Desert Heathenry.
In this episode, we explore Big Creek near Austin, Nevada. And as we go into the video, I have to apologize ahead of time. My microphone situation is not ideal. I do have some new microphones on the way. Hopefully they get here in time for the next video. Thanks for watching.
All right, everyone, check it out. This is Big Creek near Austin, Nevada. This is a really cool campsite. I've actually been here before. We were here earlier in the year when the grass was really tall, everything was green. I actually had my hammock hung between those two trees right there, and I'm actually gonna hang it there again because I chopped some branches and made it an ideal place. And actually, if you look right there, you can see a little cross branch that's still tied on with my bank line. That's where I like to hang my backpack. And in the back over there, we got the good old heathen bushcraft chair toilet thing hidden behind the brush right there. So it looks like somebody left me some firewood, which is cool. I brought some of my own. Still got a big log sitting over here. And over there, this is actually kind of a marsh. It's all pretty swampy back in this area, but there is chopped wood laying all around. This is from other campers, the Forest Service coming out here doing stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get camp set up, and we'll see how things go. And I'll just, show you around the camp once I get it set up. I have Koala Tree Eco-Minded Goods hammock here. It is what it is. It works. So attach it to this branch right here. That's why I actually cut this off last time I was here. So wrap it around, hang it in there, run it across to that branch right there as well. Got the bag hung up. This provides a pretty good wind block, and then draw a line across, have an A-frame shelter as far as tarp goes. I'm gonna try to bring it down pretty close to the hammock. That way I can minimize how much frost is gonna get on me tonight, because as you can see if you look up, it's been getting snow up here. Not expecting any precipitation, but it can happen, And it's gonna be cold in that we're right here by the water. So I may actually take some of the rocks from around the fire pit over there, clear some of this out, and I've got my makeshift table. This even got my original stakes stuck in it so to keep the log from rolling. So I'm gonna go ahead and maybe make a little fire pit right near the shelter. That way it's just more convenient. I'm not having to hop back and forth across the creek so much. But well, we'll just see how it goes. All right, got some of my gear unpacked. I got my mead, got a couple beers, good to go there. So I haven't moved any of the wood or the fire yet. I'm just now getting ready to put the hammock and my sleeping bag up, and they have to go up at the same time. So today, using my hiking bike and Taro 0 degree use down bag, 90% fill on top, 10% on the bottom with the center zip. This bag is amazing, of course, but they have to go up at the same time, and that's because the hammock actually goes through the inside of the sleeping bag. There's a hole in the head and a hole in the foot with a little zip tie string you can pull tight, keep the draft out, and it keeps you super toasty. As you can see, I took some time to get my hammock adjusted. I have to get it tight enough where it's comfortable to sleep in. You're not completely sleeping like a banana. Unfortunately, I'm still a little bit more curved than how I'd like to be. Initially, I think you'd like to have the hammock perfectly straight. That way, you're as straight as possible. But due to the situation, this is going to have to do. And you may ask, Kyle, why did you not put the bag on like you said you're going to do? I have to get the tension set right at the 2 points first. Then I simply unclip it right here. I'm going to feed it through. You're going to get to see that. Now, you see, everything is completely set up how it should be. I gotta let this loft out. You always need to let your down bag, your feather filled bags loft out. Otherwise, you're not gonna insulate it properly. So, see, the baffles run up and down from the head to the toe of the bag. I like to just make sure that the stuffing feels nice and even. And you can adjust it, that way your feet get real cold, but your upper body does not get as cold. You can actually squish a little bit more of the feather down stuffing into the toe of it. And it'll help you stay a little bit warmer that way. What's great about this type of bag is typically when you sleep in a hammock, you have to have a two-piece kit, a top quilt and an under quilt. With this, it's all encompassing, and if I was to sleep on the ground, if I was hiking, I didn't have any trees or something, I can do that as well because it's not a two-piece kit. This is the best of both worlds for me. I hope you go and pick one out and find the one that you like, but this one I find is perfect for me. Over here, you can see this is the original fire pit. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna gather a bunch of these rocks and everything, and I'm gonna go and clear another spot right over here next to the bank. Sorry about the fuzziness there, but I'll take you over there and we'll get to take a look at it. Look at that. The hammock looks good. Got my ice chest over there. Got a couple steaks we'll cook up later, a couple bottles of mead. It's gonna be an outstanding camp. But first, fire time. For those of you watching, don't do everything that I do. I'm a little bit wild, and I realize I'm about to use a shovel while wearing 5mm thick sandals. I do it all the time. That doesn't mean all of you need to be doing it. If your feet are tough enough, or if you feel that you're safe enough to do something, manage your own risks appropriately. This is a risk I have taken, and if I get hurt, it's my own fault. I do not advocate anything dangerous on my channel, and you should always have proper guidance when you're doing anything. So I've dug my fire pit out. It's not too deep. I may actually expand it just a little bit. I've thrown pretty much all of the quality sized rocks from that fire pit across the creek over here. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna dig this out real quick, just a little bit more, and then I'm gonna kind of build a fire ring around it. Check this out. This stuff here is insulation. A lot of people use it for plumbing, different things inside their home, crawl spaces, just for where you have a pipe or something that may freeze. They put it up against the walls. My buddy, Outdoor Heathen, he uses it for his instant hot water heater. And he had some left over and gave it to me. It's essentially bubble wrap space blanket. Simplest way to put it. However, I keep this small chunk with me just as a ground pad. Keep me from losing heat if I'm sitting on a stump, sitting on the ground or whatever. I can roll it up, fold it up. As long as you're not popping those bubbles and just absolutely destroying this thing, it's gives you a little bit of cushion, but also keeps you from getting the heat drained out of you when you sit on the ground and stuff. I'm wearing these minimalist sandals, and it's really cold, so I'm getting ready to switch into some boots. The one problem is my feet are covered in filth and ash, as you can see. Absolutely filthy. So I always bring a little hand towel, and I'm gonna go ahead and just rinse my feet off real quick. That way I can put some socks on and not have my boots be absolutely filthy from that. Ugh. I'm back. And got the boots on, and check this out. The Banana Mag. Heck yeah, sucker. Oh, I've made it to the halfway point of setting up my camp. It's all looking really friggin' fantastic. So, as I proceed throughout this evening, splitting some wood, getting some dinner going, get to see the steaks I got, some good mesquite seasoning. Gonna be perfect. But until then, at my halfway point, give a toast, skull, to all my viewers, all my subscribers, my friends, family, and the people who inspire me. Thank you so much. Please keep up what you're doing, and please keep watching. I love your guys' views. I love hearing all the feedback that I get from you guys. Just in person, on the street, walking around, people just say hi to me and they talk to me about it. And it's very inspiring, and it makes me appreciate this even more. I love doing this and having you guys watch. Skull, to you. All right, check this out. We've got this piece of wood here, super nice and seasoned. You can tell it's been dead for quite some time. So luckily, I don't have anything big, but I do have this, my Bahco Laplander saw. I'm gonna go ahead, chop this up, and then I'm actually going to use my Estwing axe, and of course, my Tops Fieldcraft Brothers of Bushcraft knife. And I've got some other stuff. I don't necessarily need to do too much work, but I want to have enough to get a good coal bed. That way I can leave it rolling throughout the evening. All right, at this point, I have cut plenty of wood. I brought plenty of wood with me as well. So what I'm gonna do is split some kindling, get it kind of staged. I'm gonna wait for it to get darker before I light the fire. That way I maximize my wood and my daylight. I'm not wasting my resource here because it takes a lot of calories to use that little Bahco Laplander saw to cut through bigger rounds, and just doing that all day burns a lot of calories, and I am not trying to deal with it. So simple enough, I'm just gonna get it going and cook some food here in a little bit. So here is an unexpected update. Both of my feet just went in the water right here because I was stepping and I slipped on the wet part of the logs right there. And Zero Shoes, they should be proud because these lightweight minimalist boots, they are totally waterproof. My feet are not even remotely wet or cold from it. So thank you, Zero Shoes, and the Fusion, or the Excursion Fusion here. These things rock, man. I mean, you can see the boot's actually wet. Like, my feet went in the water, so I thought I was gonna eat it real bad, but I didn't. Check this out. Justin at Outdoor Heathen, he let me borrow his JBL Charge 4, and I'm about to jam some beats. Unfortunately, I'm not able to play my music for you here. I don't want my video to get muted. If I had my acoustic guitar or any of my drums or didgeridoos, tin whistle, anything, I'd play for you and play some live music, but original music, of course. But tonight I'll probably be listening to Danheim, Wardruna, Sawulo, Halung, and then maybe a little bit of metal here and there. But since I'm out here, I'm gonna play some more of the skaldic music and listen to something a little bit more earthy. And luckily, I've got this to do it on because this thing bumps. Go out and find one wherever you can. I think we got this at Walmart or something like that. But yeah, JBL says Charge 4. The sun is rapidly setting at this point. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna use my Estwing hatchet here. Really love these things. Full Metal Construction. You all know them. You love them. Probably just as much as I do. Are they the best? No, they're not. But they're an affordable and really, really solid tool. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna prepare, just some of this smaller stuff. I'll probably use my knife and this axe, or this hatchet, I should say, and go ahead and just chop up some of the stuff. Get a little fire going. Some of this I see has been treated or painted in some way, so I want to make sure I burn all of that first, let that cook down, that way I can start getting a coal bed, and after it's been burning for a while, I have other wood that I've either cut or brought with me that's really well seasoned. So I'll take some of that, get that in there, and once that burns down a little bit and I've got a good coal bed going, I've got some steaks with some nice mesquite seasoning. I'm going to throw those on the fire here, and we'll get it going good. I've got some good, really thin, very brittle and dry kindling kind of prepared here. So I'm going to use my knife. I'm going to go around, find a couple pieces of wood, and scrape up a bunch of this nice fibrous bark. And I've actually got a small piece of, I want to call it pseudo fat wood that I chopped. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to just shave off a bunch of this, some of the bark off of this and stuff. And I actually got this out in Dixie Valley, which is about, the place I got it from is about an hour and a half, 2 hours from here. So I'm going to go ahead and use this, and I'll do a little close up here. You can actually see some of the pine resin in it, but it's not that good. It's just basically a chunk of pine. However, this stuff burns really hot. The inside of this pit is wet, so I'm gonna try to use the driest and best kindling I can just to initially get this fire going. And yeah, let's make it happen. Okay, like I was saying, this is that chunk of pine. I used to call it pseudo fat wood because it does have plenty of resins in it, but not as much as you'd ever really want for what is considered fat wood. Now, fat wood comes from the stump of pine trees down at the base where there's a lot of resins. And you can see right here, all that right there is basically pine sap. And this has been curing for, I don't know, the better part of the year. Just baking. I had left it under the seat of my van, and I actually just found it yesterday. I was getting ready to come out here on this trip, and I thought, man, this is the perfect opportunity to use this thing. So I'm gonna go through and peel some bark off. I'm gonna try to get down into that good stuff that's in there, and we'll shave some of it down. And I've got some more flat pieces of wood back over in there that were actually from someone's sawmill or something. Looks like walnut or something nice, but I'm gonna use that to strike a fire on. Check it out. You see this? That is what fat wood does. Camp is established. We've got our fire going, our hammock with our sleeping bag is hung. Now it's time for a couple of awesome things I've got here. Aside from the steaks I'm about to cook, we've all seen a nice steak, so we know what that looks like. But here, I've got 2 bottles of mead. They're both Viking's blood from Dangsnog, or however you say this, but I've had this one. This one's going to be a little bit different. This one is made with, of course, honey wine and hops, but this one's got ginger in it, and this one's got hibiscus. I'm a big fan of anything that has hibiscus in it, tea, you name it, so I love this. I mean, I'll drink a bottle at a time out here at camp, but I'm really excited to try this one. Here in Nevada, I typically find this for about yeah, 35 bucks a bottle. You can get the smaller bottles for like 15. But I brought two because I'm gonna be out here for 2 days, and just camping, hanging out. Tomorrow we're gonna actually head up to Groves Lake and do a little bit of fishing, which is over towards Kingston side of things, and we'll just see how it goes. But hopefully you can enjoy the beauty of what this is and sit here and relax with me, because this is just a majestic sight. And I wish you guys could be here in person to really appreciate how absolutely amazing this is. And what I find amazing, and I hope the camera picks it up as well, is just the color of the hillside back here as the sun is setting. It's turning the hills a red color. Absolutely fantastic. Here's the seasoning I've got. Weber Smoky Mesquite. Pretty basic, pretty tasty. Everyone loves New York strip steaks with some good seasoning. So let's get it on. Here it is, guys. The last bit of wood I'm throwing on for the night. So I've got the whoopee wrapped over my bag just to protect me from frost for the evening. Tell you what, everything around me, if we walk out away from the fire, decent radius, if we come out here, like even to here, okay, took a couple steps. If we look down, it starts to sparkle. Do you see all the sparkles? I know the camera's picking it up. You see those sparkles going off. That is all frost. It is frozen. Everything out here is frozen aside from where I'm sitting at the fire. A couple months ago, it was very green, very vibrant. Now it's just been frozen and it's dead. And you can, wow, on the camera, you can still see it sparkling. Yeah, it is cold out here. The only things that are not frozen is my campsite. So that is why I built my camp here, because these trees are a natural wind block and they hold in heat. As I come over here, this is not frosty. The bag underneath, which I'm sleeping in, is not frosty. And that's the most important thing. This whoopee is simply a frost shield to keep me free of frost. And then I've got plenty of wood cooking. That coal bed has been cooking for hours and hours. This is what we do. Bushcrafters, we love to just teach people. We love to make sure that people understand the earth. And I guess that's the best way to put it. At least me, I guess I can't say that for every bushcrafter, but we all want people to learn. We all want people to be self-reliant. And we dig it. So that's what it is. Thanks for watching.
Hey there, everybody. My camera had died shortly after that last clip, so I ended up plugging it into the power bank and letting it charge over the course of the evening. In the morning when I wake up, that's where part 2 of this episode will take place. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and of course, please check in for part 2. That way you can see the whole adventure. Thanks for watching.